Welcome to Scamish. This is going to be the first video, and I actually want to dedicate it to somebody I ran into in these YouTube streets. We'll call them Sergeant Jackass. I'd actually like to thank that person because they urged me to go ahead and finally put a video out. This is something I've been working on and talking about for a while, but just really haven't gotten off my hands to do it. So I'll give a brief introduction of myself and what I'm going to be doing going forward. My name's Chris. I am a retiree in my 30s. I wish I could say I'm in my 20s, but it takes some time to get there. And ultimately, I have run into a lot of, I'm not going to call them scams, but scam-ish things that people have tried selling me and pushing onto me. And I feel that I'm probably not the only person who may be looking for financial freedom, and suddenly people come to you and they seem to have the answer to all of your problems. So on this channel, I'll be covering a multitude of scam-ish things, and they're not always going to be financial. Some of them are going to be about life itself, ways to live your life that people purport to be helpful. And frankly, I think that it's time that we call some of these people out. So first thing on my list, I want to bring up infinite banking. You might have some people say, be your own bank. Go ahead and Google it, YouTube it. I'm probably sure that there are a multitude of videos on this subject. I brought it up because my wife and I were actually approached once to get involved in what could be a gateway to being able to borrow money from myself while also building wealth on that money that's invested. And I was like, oh, this is it. This is the answer. Why wouldn't I do this? So ultimately, infinite banking is a life insurance vehicle that uses your money to contribute to life insurance, but also you could borrow from that life insurance. And so to give you an example, let's say that to start this life insurance, and I believe that it's whole life, what you'll do is you'll put, let's say, $10,000 into your life insurance. So now you have a benefit of $10,000 to something bad happened to you, right? And while that $10,000 is in there, they'll say, man, what? That's not just $10,000 that's going to be able to benefit your family when you're gone, but you can borrow for that $10,000, and you know what you can do? You can keep it for as long as you want. There is no due date. It's like, damn, how come I never heard of this before? This is crazy. But then when you look at it on the surface, it seems great. But when you look deeper into it, what you're doing is you're essentially giving a company $10,000, and then they're lending you back your $10,000 and then charging you interest on it. And then the likelihood, and they've done the math on this, you got to imagine that if there was a likelihood you drop dead tomorrow, they wouldn't be doing this. So the likelihood that you're going to need the benefit immediately it's quite low. So you're going to be borrowing that $10,000, and then you're going to be paying back that $10,000 plus interest. And most likely, when you look at what people's money habits are, you'll know that you're not going to pay off the $10,000 immediately. And hell, if you give someone a deadline of never, they're never going to pay off the $10,000. And so what ends up actually happening is you purchase this insurance policy with the mindset that your loved ones are going to be able to benefit from this 10K, and you've essentially burnt it by borrowing on it. So if something were to happen to you, I believe they would actually owe $10,000 to the insurance company. Or they're at least going to take the 10K from the benefit, minus the benefits to your loved ones. So, I mean, what I'd like to do on this channel is I'd like to offer solutions. If you've got 10K or 100K or 300K, first off, look at your age. Think about the likelihood that you'll drop dead tomorrow or within the next year or two, and then consider the fact that there are other vehicles that will allow you to not only just put that money away and invest it, but you can borrow from that money without having to take out a life insurance policy. So one solution that you could use are brokerage accounts, self-directed brokerage accounts. Go to, and I'm not sponsored, so I'm not getting paid by saying this. Go to like a Merrill Lynch and look up self-directed brokerage accounts. And what they'll do is if you ask them to, let's say, do margin, and I don't recommend I don't recommend you take out margin, but I'm just saying this is a solution. If you're looking at infinite banking as a solution, then look at Merrill Lynch first as a solution, and then look into learning how to use margin to your benefit. But when you put in money into a brokerage account that has margin on it, they also give you a certain dollar amount for every dollar that you put into the brokerage account. In my case, they'll give me $3 for every dollar that I put into the brokerage account. Okay. And so what that means is I could put in $1,000 and I could borrow $300, and I could put the 300 back in there, or I could just allow the appreciation of my investments to recuperate the 300 that I withdrew, and this is beneficial because what you're doing is you're actually taking your own investment into your own hands. And so instead of taking a 5% reduction in interest payments, you can actually appreciate 5% in the stock market and then reinvest that money into the stock market and use the power of, you can use the power of residual appreciation to grow your money further, more and more. So anyways, I just want to say, look into infinite banking more deeply, see why I think it's scam-ish, and see if it's for you or not. For me, no go. All right, I'll be back with some more, and hopefully this was helpful. If you got any questions, leave them in the comment section. If you're a hater, like Sergeant Jackass, leave your hate in the comment section. Like it, dislike it. Follow my channel because I'm going to be dropping a couple of gems here and there whenever I want.